Today, we are pulling back the curtain on the glamorous world of perfume. It's an industry built on desire, sophistication, and a promise of making you completely irresistible. But what if I told you that the beautiful, expensive-smelling liquid in that bottle is actually the cheapest part of it? Yeah, let's find out what you're really paying for. This whole industry is really built on aspiration. We see our favorite celebrities, think Jennifer Aniston, Sienna Miller, Kate Moss, endorsing their signature scents, and we want a little piece of that glamour for ourselves. It's a massive, 16 billion pound global business, and it's all powered by that one simple desire, to smell absolutely incredible. So that brings us to the big question, doesn't it? When you're picking out your favorite perfume, are you actually trusting your own nose, or have you just been completely sucked in by the marketing? The answer is probably more important than you think, and we are about to find out why.
All right, first up, let's do what we always do and follow the money. Where does the seriously high price of that tiny little bottle of perfume actually come from? I think the answer is going to surprise you.
So let's just put that number up again. 16 billion pounds. That's how much money the perfume industry rakes in every single year. It's a staggering amount. But where does all that cash actually go? What are we paying for when we buy that bottle?
Okay, get ready for this, because this is probably the most shocking secret of the entire industry. The actual perfume, the scented liquid inside the bottle, makes up only 3% of its cost. Yup, a whopping 97% of what you pay for is the marketing, the fancy packaging, and, well, the dream that they're selling you. And all that spending on the shiny ads and beautiful bottles, it pays off, big time. The result is an average profit margin of 95%. That makes perfume one of the most profitable luxury goods on the entire planet. It's basically a license to print money.
And don't for a second think this is just a little sideline for these big luxury brands. For many of them, it's the main event. Yves Saint Laurent himself once admitted that perfume made up over 85% of his fashion house's revenue. And look at Burberry. They saw their profits jump 17% from fragrance sales, even when their clothing sales were slumping.
So how on earth can they maintain these insane profit margins when the actual juice is only 3% of the cost? Well, the answer lies in the science. To understand the economics, you have to look at where these scents really come from. And spoiler alert, it's not always a field of flowers. Say hello to synthetic molecules. These lab-created compounds were first discovered way back in 1876, and they completely changed the game. All of a sudden, perfumers could create scents that lasted way longer and, crucially, could be mass-produced, opening up a whole new world of possibilities. And here's why that lab revolution was so important. Sourcing natural ingredients is an incredibly difficult and expensive business. Just take jasmine, for instance. To get just 1 single kilogram of essential oil, you need 750 kilograms of jasmine flowers, and those flowers only bloom for a couple of months a year and have to be taken by hand during a few specific hours of the day. I mean, the logistics are just a nightmare.
And here is the bottom line. A kilogram of natural rose absolute is going to set you back about 4,000 pounds. The synthetic, lab-created version, 400 pounds. When you're looking at a tenfold price difference, the business decision becomes, well, it becomes incredibly simple, doesn't it?
Now, this revolution in affordable, mass-produced scents didn't just boost the profits of old-school perfume houses. Oh no, it paved the way for a whole new beast, the celebrity fragrance.
And boy, has it been a gold rush. Jennifer Lopez really kicked off the modern trend and has reportedly made over 25 million pounds from her perfumes alone. Sarah Jessica Parker, more than 2 million from just one scent. Lovely. And the list goes on and on. Britney, Beyoncé, Kate Moss, they all have huge bestsellers.
But there's a catch. Perfume expert Chandler Burr has a great name for them. He calls them the fast fashion of fragrance. To keep them affordable and maximize profit, they often use cheaper synthetic ingredients. And the result is a scent that's fun for a season, maybe, but it often fades quickly and just lacks the depth and complexity of a timeless classic.
So we've looked at the marketing, we've looked at the science. How in the world are you supposed to navigate this minefield and find a fragrance you'll actually love for years to come? Well, it's time to learn how to trust your own nose. Okay, first thing you have to understand is that a perfume isn't static. It evolves on your skin. That first spritz you smell in the shop, those are the head notes, and they pretty much disappear after 15 minutes. The real character of the fragrance, the heart and base notes, only come out over several hours. So what you smell at the counter is not what you'll be smelling at the end of the day.
But let's be real, who has hours to wait around in a shop? An amazing alternative is to turn to the experts. In their legendary book, Perfumes, the Guide, Luca Turn and Tanya Sanchez basically blew the entire industry wide open with brutally honest reviews, completely free from the influence of advertisers.
And when I say brutally honest, I am not kidding. Take their review of the very popular Carolina Herrera's 212. They described it as being like getting lemon juice in a paper cut. Ouch.
Their take on Givenchy's Amarige is even more savage. They basically advise anyone who wears it to do so exclusively at home and tape the windows shut. I mean, that is the kind of feedback you are just not going to find in a glossy magazine, right?
And of course, they didn't hold back on the celebrity sense either. They described Paris Hilton's heiress as a, and I quote, hilariously vile 50-50 mix of cheap shampoo and canned peaches. It's harsh for sure, but it really highlights that huge gap between the marketing hype and the actual reality in the bottle. This all leads to a fascinating psychological trap that we all fall into. The famous perfumer Roja Dova points out that we're so influenced by the brand, the bottle, and the story that in a blind test, we often hate the very perfumes we claim to love. As he says, most people don't buy a scent for their nose, they buy it for their ego. So after all of this, after all the science and the marketing spin, what's the one simple rule you should follow? It's this. Ignore the brand. Ignore the celebrity. Ignore the pretty bottle. Just trust your own nose. Buy what smells good to you.
And that really leaves us with one final thought. The next time you find yourself at the perfume counter, what are you going to choose? Will you be buying the carefully crafted story sold to you by a multi-billion-pound industry? Or will you be choosing the genuine scent that truly, truly speaks to you? The choice now is yours.